Hi, Tru Wonder team. That's our 5K and first and second grade rooms. Here with your weekend update for October 19th and 20th. We are still with Moses. We're now in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13, through chapter 15, verse 21. So the crossing of the Red Sea. Last week, God met Moses at the burning bush. God introduced himself to Moses. They had this personal connection where Moses actually learned God's name. And now Moses has gone to Egypt, he's gone to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh has finally relented and let the Israelites go. They're just starting out into the desert. And so that is where we are picking up our Big God story this weekend. Our Bible Remember verse for the month is Philippians 3:10, part A. I want to know Christ. Yes, to know the power of his resurrection. And our ponder point is God is mighty. So that mighty and powerful becomes kind of a theme this weekend. Our explore activities, these are some of my favorite ones. I remember teaching these probably one of my first couple of months as a teacher, and we had just switched over to Tru, and this is what they handed me. I was like, wait, what? So one of them, the kids are going to be trying to part water on their own using like a paint stir stick in a big bowl. So just don't put a lot of water in the bowl or you're going to have a big mess. So maybe just like an inch or so of water. Hey, can you move the stick through the water and create a dry space underneath that someone could walk through? Or that like we could touch the dry bottom. Can you do that? Is that even possible? What are some different ways we could try to do it? See what the kids come up with. But you will probably want to have somebody at that one. And then our second explore activity is one that we might actually want to run almost like a little science lab again, especially in that younger 5K room. This is the one where we put the pepper on the top of the water. So using the surface tension of the water to support the little flecks of pepper without them falling to the bottom. But then you have a Q-tip and you dip it in a little bit of dish soap. And when you put the Q-tip onto the water, the pepper actually separates. And it's really, really cool to see how that happens. So you can do that in Dixie cups or in a small bowl, and so have some fun with it. If you are staffed to the point where you can have somebody at that table and you can do it a few times over, it is really cool to even let the kids take that Q-tip, dip with the soap and dip it onto the top of the water and watch the pepper spread out. It's really fun to just watch their reaction. But if not, it's another one where you can gather everybody around and they can watch it happen. All right, so like I said, our ponder point is God is mighty. I walked you through our remember verse. In the wardrobe of wonder this weekend, we will have a staff. And I know in the 5K room, it's kind of lives pretty much tucked behind our wardrobe because it's a really big stick. That's what a staff is. But just that is our, hey, Moses held that out over, wow, my hand looked really big. He held that out over the water to make the sea part. The storyteller option is so great in this lesson. Feel free if you want to go into the prop room and pull out some costumes or a wig or a beard and dress up and pretend to be Moses. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can tell it like a narrator. Lead the kids around the room. Hey, we are fleeing from Egypt. They've let us go, but oh no, they're right there behind us. But oh no, we've got this sea in front of us. And how are we going to get through it? And there's even a little song in there that goes along with the we're going on a bear hunt. So, we're coming out of Egypt. The call and response, the echo. So the kids can repeat after you through that song. And just the wonder of God made a way. Like you couldn't see a way across that sea. And God made it happen. And I love that when they got to the other side of the sea, the Israelites stopped. And they worshiped God. They recognized what he had done for them. They recognized that he cared for them. They built a little altar out of stones so that whenever they passed by it and saw it, they would remember what he did. And it is there that God starts telling them, tell this to your kids. Share the stories of what I am doing with the next generation and the one after that. So I love how that's already built in there, and that is what we are still doing. Okay. We do have the response time is kind of cool. We can take a few moments for the kids to just name out, call out, what do you know is true about God? Hey, God is mighty. God is powerful. We said those already in our ponder point and in our verse for the week. We know that God cares for us. We know that God makes a way for us. We know that God is our creator. We know that God can be healer. We know that God is our Father. We know that Jesus is our Savior. We know that the Spirit is our advocate and our comforter. Calling out things that they know are true about God. You might get some kid responses, and that's okay. Then they get this little wave piece of paper, and they can put it on their response wall. They can just thank God for being who he is. And then our craft. Last week we were putting little tissue paper on the burning bush. This week we're parting the sea. So we've got tissue paper that we're putting down as the water. And with those older kids, if you want to take, and they can, like the end of the eraser end of a pencil, you can put the tissue paper on the end there, try to wrap it around, and then stick it down. It gives it more of a three-dimensional look. So in the older classes where they might have the little more fine motor mobility, that's another option that you can use as well. All right. So this weekend, as you remember that God is mighty, may you remember that he loves you with a mighty love. And he is able to do more than you could ask or imagine. Oh, last thing. I am running away this weekend, sneaking out with Mark and Landon up to visit Mark's mom. It's been almost a year since I've been up there, so I'm looking forward to some family time and crocheting by the fire. Just some good connecting and relation building that we haven't done for a long time. So I will miss you, and I will be praying for you, and have a great weekend. Bye.